We'd like to welcome everyone here this evening as we go over the program that we will be asking practical marriage advice from certain individuals or couples that we could give to Paul Michael and Rika Balbuck. He's got to now get used to introducing his wife as he goes from place to place also. Marriage, we find out, is a lifelong and exclusive and voluntary covenant between a man and a woman that is ordained by God. It is a relationship that is meant to be loving, intimate, and selfless. We find out in Genesis, the Lord said, it's not good for man to be alone. He said, I'll make a helper suitable for him. So the Lord caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he slept, he took one of the ribs of man and closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of man, and he brought her to the man. The man said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. And so we find out that Paul and Rika, they became one flesh not too long ago. That was what, you got to remember the date. What was it? December 15th. Now, why December 15th? Easy to remember. You know why it's easy to remember? Ask him when he was born. July 15th. There was two events that took place that day. One on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. All right? On the West Coast, July 15th, Paul was born. On the East Coast, Evelyn and myself got married on July 15th, that same day. So we have something in common of July 15th that we can remember. And so God has blessed me we're working on 35 years now being together. Does it come with a manual? No, it doesn't. We learn as we go. They say usually one of the hardest parts of the marriage is the first year because you're still trying to learn and to know of each other. And that is true. The mothers or the couples that have had children, the first child, did it come with an operator's manual? Were you given advice by many people? Did it get old after a period of time also? All this advice, and the best way to do is to learn it as you go. And God will bless you. And then as the second child comes along, what happens? You become a little bit more well-informed and know what to do in what circumstances. But they're still different. The children are all different. They're not molded one right after another. And God blessed us and blessed couples with children. And what would it be if it would all be the same? It would be kind of monotonous to a certain degree. I want to ask I'm just going to call out just some couples, and I just want to get an idea of how long you've been married. All right, the first one I'm going to ask, Alex and Valerie, are they here? Where's Alex? Is he? Okay. Then how about Josue Reyes? How many years have you been married? Or Daniela, how many years have you been married? I don't know if he understood or not. Brother Eduardo, how many years have you been married? 25. Are you sure? Do we have to call Linda to confirm? Gabriel and Ophelia, how long? 14 and a half. To the point, right? Okay. John Bear, Jr. Is he here? He might not be here. Okay. How about, let's see, I don't know which one to ask. Brother Duarte, how many years have you been married? 27. Okay. 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 All right. Now let's see if Livio remembers. 35. So you're just like us then, working on 35. How about Peter and Susan? How much? 41? Whew, that's a long time, isn't it? All right. Now I know if I ask Catherine, how many years? He says it's 27? Okay. Yeah, how many years? 34? Okay. And Gennady? $19 and a half. So we got a wide variety of the different ages and times of being married. So we can get a lot of advice over the time periods in each stage of that life. We're also going to have some musical items that we'd like to present in between some of the questions. But I'm going to ask, how about Susan? I'm gonna give you the mic, and you could give a little bit of advice to. Okay, you gonna get it to him? It doesn't have to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a minute or less is fine too.
Just me?
Well, or you can hand the microphone to Peter when you're done, and you can do it from right there. Yeah, we'll make it easy. Oh, you want up front? Okay.
He can wait. His wife can go first. Well, first of all, I'm just glad to be here. And 41 years seems like forever, but also 41 years can be so quick because you have.
They said I have to come up here and hold your hand.
So it doesn't feel like 41 years because I say we've only kind of been together half that time because he's away a lot. So it's like a fresh start every time he comes home. So at first, when he used to go away a lot, I used to think, I feel so lonely and so homesick and I want to go. But then I'm thinking, I've got things to do and I'm a woman. So if he's home for too long now, I'm like, don't you have another missionary trip? Because I've got things to do. So that way I can handle the alone times. But I'd like to leave with you something that my mum and dad had a very close relationship, and they left me. I found, as I was looking to talk about a marriage retreat, a little piece of paper, and this is part of it, like a photo of it, and we could only find, they did 30 tips for 30 years of marriage. And my parents were the perfect example of a very happy Christian couple. So I'm going to read some of them, and if, Peter, you want to give a little bit of a side comment on them.
I have plenty on Monday.
Okay. So number 1, keep healthy, go for walks together. Number 2, plan everything together. 3, invest wisely, don't go into credit card debt. 4, have the same goals and work together towards them. 5, never go to bed angry. 6, plan fun times and take little vacations often. Don't wait for the one big day that you're going to retire and we'll just have nothing to do but have a nice vacation. By then, you're too old to go walking and doing things and being active as much. So when you're young, look for little opportunities, even if it's just a day, or it's like a lot of times we used to end a camp meeting and we'd be so exhausted at the end of camp meeting, doing all the cooking, running things, and we would just spend an extra day before we go home, find a nice motel, find a hot tub, whatever, just to relax and just spend a bit of time before we get home to the normal routine. 7, agree on child discipline and be consistent. Establish boundaries for what is acceptable behaviour. Have devotional time together, read inspiring books together. And a lot of times just having our worships together, that was right from the start, reading Adventist Home, and when it's time, read Child Guidance. And they become little discussions, and you kind of get to know what your partner is thinking, what something stood out to you, and that really draws you on a sense where you can, it's inspired, so you can understand the truth from a lot of that.
And we read the whole Bible together too. Good. No, we also, one of the first things we did, we read the Bible together as well. So we took time to read the whole, even though it was just whenever we were together, so it took us a few years because we were traveling, different times and different schedules. Even when I was home, I'm not home in the evenings. And so it took us a little while, but we read the whole Bible together, Genesis to Revelation, and that's also very important.
And with Peter, if I had to win an argument, I had to give him a Bible study to prove that I was right.
She tried that in her second letter to me too.
Yes, my second letter to him, before I even knew him, was a Bible study on the points of friendship and marriage and in that proper order. And so I thought that would turn him off, and it didn't.
I like the Bible study.
So 10, plant a garden including flowers to give to her and veggies to give to him. Because he likes to eat, she likes flowers. And guess what I have? He never brings me roses, but he planted me a rose garden. So I have a rose garden there, and now and again he'll bring in a little cluster of roses that he grew.
In Australia, the roses were totally different than here. They're really beautiful roses that we had out front. And when I'm on the trip, she sends me pictures of the roses she got from me, even though I'm in another continent.
Learn to cook new healthy dishes. Keep in touch with parents and other family members. And then they have a lot more, but I can't see them anymore. So that's enough tips for you to think about.
All right, thank you, Peter and Susan. At this time, I'm going to ask Philip and Ethan to come up. They have a violin duet with their mother.
don't profess to know anything anybody else doesn't, but we'll just share a couple things that we've enjoyed so far and we've been blessed by in our marriage. I think in the joining of two lives, there's a joining of a lot of different habits, right? And I think it's the easy route to just settle and go for the easy way through everything. But one thing that Heidi and I tried to do early on in our relationship is recognize who has the better habit, who has the better and more uplifting way of doing something. And consciously realize it and put that one into practice. It's not the easy way out. It's not the easy way to make decisions, but it's the one that will bring the greater results, right? So sometimes it's easy just to go along with a stream, but choose to always look up and to have the humility to recognize, yes, you're right, and we're going to follow it in that way.
We're so happy to be here with you two this weekend, and there's a few other things that we wanted to mention. One thing is make sure that you try and communicate with each other. Take the extra few minutes to speak with each other, and try to be the first one to forgive and to say sorry. Not to let the little things in life become really big things, because they can get really big really quick. Just try and keep them small and work together. Also, something that I think every couple should do, that we do, is we try to say goodbye to each other every morning at the front door, and then in the evening, no matter what you're doing, if you're washing dishes or doing something in the house, come to the door and welcome the person home. I think it means a lot when you are the first people to say goodbye, then you come home and you say hello again together.
And as was mentioned earlier, if God is made the center of the life, then the guidance will come with every decision that comes. So, as Brother Peter was saying, reading together, studying together, it's not an option, it is vital. And you can be best friends in all aspects of your life. So thank God, and we're very thankful to be here with both of you as well.
Thank you. Yep. I'm going to ask the Hanushka family to come up. They have a musical item that they'd like to present. And while they're getting ready, I remember when we got married, I used to buy Evelyn roses all the time. And, for many different occasions, for either the anniversary or for birthdays. And my coworker one day said, you need to get carnations. They like carnations. And it's like, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. She's always liked roses. So the one year that I didn't buy roses, that I got carnations, she asked, what are you, cheap now? Or, what happened to my roses? So roses was her favorite flower over the carnations. But there are many beautiful carnations of different varieties. So make sure that you do keep the flowers going.
Emptied of his glory, God became a man to walk on earth in ridicule and shame. A ruler yet a servant, a shepherd yet a lamb, a risen from the dead, and he is Lord. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Satan's forces crumble like a mighty wall. The stone that held him in was rolled aside. The Prince of Life in glory was lifted over all. Now earth and heaven echo with a cry. He is Lord. He is Lord. He is risen from the dead, and he is Lord. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. That Jesus Christ is Lord.
I've noticed over the years that when family or siblings sing together, the voices blend so much better. And we saw that here just now. A very good job. I'm going to ask Brother Eli to come forward, and him and his wife to give some advice also, or words of wisdom.
Good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here this afternoon with you all and seeing all the families, all the young couples together. It's very nice. And now I'll pass the opportunity to my husband to say a few words.
Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking about what to say this afternoon because there are so many things we can give advice, right? Sometimes we make seminars the whole weekend. So I thought about some things, but many of them actually they were covered. Some I would like to just to stress. Morning and evening worship together doesn't need to always be something long, even if it's very short. That's important. Now, Brother Mike, there's one thing that depends more on you. If you learn this detail, if you put it in your mind, you are going to be happy in your marriage. You have to always have in mind that sometimes your wife is right, and the other times you are wrong. So, you got it? Just kidding. But if I could give one advice, it would be for what I always give to couples, young couples, when they're getting married. Live to make each other happy. Make this man happy, and you make this woman happy, and you two are going to have a happy marriage. Just one more thing, and I'll finish. Some years ago, I was still living in Canada, and Brother Peter called me, or I called him, I don't remember. We were talking over the phone, and I had the phone on speaker, and he said something when he asked about my family, about my wife, and then he said, you are stuck with her. And she heard it. She was in the kitchen, and she heard it, and she liked it. So we always say it to each other. We say, you are stuck with me. So the advice is, your wife is your responsibility for the rest of your life. Your husband is your responsibility for the rest of your life. So always keep in mind, you are made to each other. The Spirit Prophet says, never think that your marriage was a mistake. Satan will tempt you sometimes to think it. But just reject this thought and remember, think, I'm stuck with him, I'm stuck with her, the Lord gave me her, the Lord gave me him, I am happy, I'm thankful to the Lord, we are going to work it out, doesn't matter what happened, by the grace of Jesus, we will move forward. So, make each other happy. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I will ask John Braidman, Nikki, and Karina to come forward, and they have a musical item.
I don't know about tomorrow. I just live from day to day. I don't borrow from its sunshine, for its skies may turn to gray. I don't worry of the future, for I know what Jesus said. And today I'll walk beside him, for he knows what is ahead. Many things about tomorrow I just seem to understand, but I know who holds tomorrow, and I know who holds my hand. Step is getting lighter as the golden stairs I climb. Every bird is getting lighter, every cloud is silver lined. There the sun is always shining, there no tear will dim the eye. At the ending of the rainbow, where the mountains touch the sky, many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand, but I know who holds tomorrow, and I know who holds my hand. I don't know about tomorrow. It may bring me poverty, but the one who feeds the sparrow is the one who stands by me in the path that be my portion. May be cool the flame of love, many things about tomorrow. I just seem to understand, but I know who holds tomorrow, and I know who holds my hand, and I know who holds my hand.
We thank you for that item. It was very beautiful. I'm going to ask Gabriel and Ophelia if they would come forward and like to share a word or two.
Well, we are honored, humbled to be here, and privileged at the same time. And just listening to all the great advice, it's not much we can say. We've been blessed with 14 springs, 14 summers, 14 falls, and 14 winters together. And when I say that, I'm thinking that a marriage, you can identify with a season. And you can make it as a spring, you can make it as a hot summer, sometimes as a fall, or sometimes cold as a winter. And I'm sure that in your experience, the ones that have been here, you can identify with those seasons. But there is always a process. And what I'm thinking of this is you start to know yourself more once you get married than you actually knew yourself before. Because you are faced now with a mirror. And the mirror will show you the good, the bad, and it will help you. So that's why I feel that I am blessed, and I want to share this because once you are together, the journey just begins. And the process of building character, it's in the beginning too. One thing that I will say that it's more practical, as we are all professionals, and at work we try to be at our best. We try to be polite to our coworkers, to the people you take care of. Do not let the guard down when you come home. Do not feel that your day is over and now you can just be whoever. Continue to be the same professional, the same gentleman, the same gentlewoman that you are in your professional career, even at home. And if you're able to carry that, it will definitely make it brighter. So may God bless you both in this journey, as it is the most beautiful journey that God intended for humans to enjoy in.
Thank you. I agree with everything that's been said to you so far, so I won't repeat it. A lot of my ideas have been taken. I think, Reka, what I can tell you is pick your battles. I think oftentimes we have great ideas, but we don't always have to be right. And there are times when we can give in. So if we want something or we want to go somewhere, and we can always learn to compromise. That's something that we both have learned through the years. We were more advanced in our age when we got married, and we were both very independent when we met each other. We were very different too. He was very regimented and I was more laid back. When he was hungry, he needed to eat and I could wait. And we had to learn, how to read each other's cues. And one thing that I think we have done throughout the years is we've been very transparent with our emotions. We haven't tried to make our feelings a challenge. Let's see if they can figure it out. Let's see if they can find out why I'm upset. We just went ahead and say, listen, this is what I'm feeling. This is what's going on. And I think that's made it easier on us through the years. And communication is key to that, because once the kids come in the picture, you have less of that time to talk to each other. So then he knows, oh, that's that look. I know what that means, because we've communicated all these years. And I also just want to say that in the end, it's all about putting God first. Marriage gets sweeter each and every year with God in it. May God bless you.
There's a saying that sometimes you've got to lose a battle to win a war. So that's practical. At this time, I'm going to ask Belgrove to come forward, and I think there is a violin and cello musical.
Play a hymn that we all know. It's How Great Thou Art. But I want to challenge you, whenever you pick up a hymn and sing it or read it, there's amazing messages in the hymns that we sing every single day, every single Sabbath. Deep messages. Quick sermons. Verses 3 and 4 of How Great Thou Art, it says, "And when I think that God, his Son not sparing, sent him to die, I scarce can take it in. That on that cross my burden, gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin." The last verse says, "When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation, and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart? Then I shall bow in humble adoration, and there proclaim that my God, how great thou art." My prayer is, as I play this song, we can remember Christ's sacrifice. We can prepare our hearts to be able to look up and say, "Lord, you are great."
That was very beautiful. We're coming to the end of the program, and I wanted to just share one chapter in the Bible, and it's a well-known chapter. It's 1 Corinthians 13. It says, "Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have no charity, I am become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understanding of all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all the faith so that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have no charity, it profiteth me nothing. Charity suffereth long, and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, and is not puffed up. It doth not behave itself unseemingly, seeking not her own. It is not easily provoked, and thinketh no evil. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in truth. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, and endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I will put away childish things. For now we see through the glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, and then shall I know even as I also am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three things, but the greatest of these is charity." What's the meaning of 1 Corinthians 13? Love is described in 1 Corinthians 13 as best understood as a way of life, lived in imitation of Jesus Christ that is focused not on oneself, but on one another and his or her good. Love is always about action, how a person lives for the Lord and obeys Him, and how a person lives for others and serves Him. So we know if we put the Lord first, and we practice this love that is shown in these Bible verses, you will reap many, many benefits. We have two more items, and we're going to ask the choir to come forward, and these will be the two items for the closing of this meeting. So we'll ask the choir to get ready. That last song that was sung was by the Gaithers, and it was originally written in the mid-60s. Actually, it was in 1964. And she was giving birth to the third child, and they were having many struggles, especially with their personal and professional lives. And she was especially worried about raising a child at that time, especially in the conditions that were at that time period. When you fast forward it to our time, what's it like to raise a child now in today's society with what's going on? I'm going to ask Timmy and Bethany to come forward, but I want the whole package up here, the third one too. And to give a little bit of advice also to Paul and Rika.
I would say family is a gift, so appreciate the moments and appreciate one another and also encourage each other because life is difficult and I think family is a haven, right? And so appreciate the good qualities of the other person and encourage them in their Christian walk.
Happy Sabbath, Mikey and Reka and everyone. I was a little bit surprised that I was asking the last minute. We have about 5 years of being married, and it's a blessing. It's a beautiful thing, and I want to say, Mikey, especially to you, as Reka is changing continents and countries, making new friends, having new brothers and sisters here. For a good while, you will be the whole world for her because she has to change the world. And please do the extra mile to help her to adapt in the new place. I would say as well, in marriage is a very good place to grow in patience. We cannot ask the Lord that He would put us 5 pounds of patience in our brain, right? He will allow us to go through situations that would manifest our patience. And I would like to say, please be careful with the little details, maybe a taste or something, because on the big decisions we talk a lot, right? But sometimes on the little details, a couple may have some frustration, so please be careful with the little details. Manifest patience, and when you have enough patience for one another, you're ready for the addition in the family. And then you will grow even more in patience, and I pray the Lord will bless you as a family.
All right, I've got one more I'd like to ask to come forward, and Gennady and his mother, if to come forward. Can she give a little advice? Yes, I'm calling them, but you to translate. Yes. I can't translate. You got that one. So how many years for you?
48.
48.
Good evening.
Добрый вечер.
Но прежде чем я что-нибудь скажу из Библии, наставление какое-то,
Before I want to say something from the Bible,
я хочу сказать одну историю,
I want to share a story
как счастье меняет людей.
how happiness is changing people.
Знаете, каждую субботу мы здесь встречаемся в церкви с Майки.
Every Sabbath we meet here, Brother Mikey,
Иногда я спрашиваю, как дела?
and sometimes I ask, how are you?
Он говорит, хорошо.
Good.
Но однажды он пришел, сияет,
And one Sabbath he came, he's just bright, shining,
я спрашиваю, как дела?
and I ask him, how are you?
Очень хорошо.
Excellent.
Очень хорошо, говорит.
Excellent.
Я понял, что у него в жизни что-то изменилось.
And I got that something had changed in his life.
И через несколько часов я узнал,
And in a couple hours I figure out
что он нашел свою половинку,
that he found
свое
his
счастье.
half.
Поэтому, чтобы быть счастливыми,
In order to be happy,
вам нужно держать это счастье крепко.
hold that happiness.
Потому что счастье улетает иногда.
Because happiness is fragile.
Для того, чтобы его держать,
In order to hold it, and
вам нужно пригласить Христа,
you need Jesus,
и Он поможет вам.
and He will help you.
Но счастье – это не то, чтобы мы подстроились друг под друга.
Happiness is not only that we accommodate one to another.
Счастье – это индивидуальность.
Happiness is when you preserve your individuality.
Но по словам апостола Павла,
But according to the words of Apostle Paul,
покоряйтесь друг другу,
you submit one to another
любите друг друга,
and love one another
цените друг друга.
and cherish one another.
И это пронесите через всю жизнь.
And then you go whole rest of your life that way.
Мы принимаем вас в группу семейных,
So we are welcoming you to the family, the circle of families, already married people,
чтобы вы помогли еще тем,
that you might help those
которые не нашли своего
who
счастья.
are still looking for their halves.
Пусть Бог поможет вам.
May God bless you.
А я хотела сказать, что семейная жизнь, вы знаете, так быстро пролетает.
Life, living together and happiness is passing away so fast.
Поэтому надо стараться всегда быть вместе.
Cherish the moments here together.
Когда одна сестра осталась вдовой, ее спросили, что ты жалеешь, что произошло в твоей жизни?
When one lady remained a widow and she was asked, what you regret the most in your life?
Она сказала, я очень жалею, что мы очень мало были вместе.
I regret for the moments that we could be together, but we were not.
Поэтому, вы знаете, я еще сравниваю жизнь, прожитую, все-таки 48 лет прожили вместе, и мы всегда были вместе, и на работе, и всегда вместе.
All these 48 years we were always together and working together and dealing with troubles together.
Я сравниваю семейную жизнь, как езда за рулем.
I'm comparing the family life as driving.
За рулем надо быть очень внимательным,
You have to be very careful when you drive,
чтобы ничего не пропустить.
that you don't miss any car.
И видеть твое видение должно быть влево и вправо и кругом.
And then you have to check the mirrors and your left and right.
Еще надо знать, когда тормозить и когда нажать на газ.
But it's important to remember when you have to slow down.
Если только давить на газ,
If you only drive,
тогда на повороте или на какой-то яме,
then on the curve, you lose the balance.
тогда машина терпит крах.
And then an accident.
Так и семейная жизнь.
So in the family life,
Надо всегда уметь знать, когда закрыть свой рот.
so you have to know when to shut up
И когда что-то сказать.
and when to say.
Поэтому мы желаем, чтобы у вас всегда был мир и дружба, и чтобы вы понимали друг другу и ставили один другого выше себя. Никогда не ставь себя на первом месте, а друга своего.
I wish that you always value one another higher than yourself, and that then peace will be going along with you and your family.
Пусть Бог вас благословит.
God bless.
Спасибо.
All right, thank you for those words of advice, and let us put it into practice. We've come to the end, and at this time, let us close and sing together hymn number 614, Happy is the Home When God is There. 614.